Thanks a lot, and welcome to, I guess, last presentation of the day about the success story of BitterLiebe and Pliant. I'm from Pliant, and I'm going to run you through in the next minutes who Pliant is, who BitterLiebe is, what their challenges when it comes to digital credit cards were, and how we help them to solve those pain points. And what I'd like you to take away after this 30 minutes basically is how you and your business can save a lot of time, money, and nerves with our leading platform for digital credit cards that you can use for all of your ad spend, for all of your license spend, for all of your travel spend, for all of your procurement spend. Because we've built this leading platform for digital credit cards, not only, but also specializing on the e-commerce vertical and therefore catering all of the needs that you as an e-commerce company have. I'm our Chief Commercial Officer. I'm responsible for all of our go-to-market activities, and I'm really glad to see so many of you still here. Before I start, I'd like to take you on a little journey. So imagine you just bought from your favorite supplier the goods that you want to resell via your online shop. Or you bought the Google ads that you need in order to push the awareness within your target audience. Or you're planning your next trip to a trade fair and you paid for the flights, the hotels, etc. And with the buying, you know, by using our credit cards, that automatically the right cost center is assigned to the booking or to the payment, the right cost unit is assigned, the right VAT rate, supplier account. So basically all of the necessary pre-accounting information are already assigned to the payment, and also the receipt is automatically matched with the transaction. So basically everything that you or the bookkeeping department have to do is doing a 4i check on this transaction plus receipt attached already, and then you can push it by clicking on a button to the target system. Being an accounting system, being an ERP system, wherever you want to have your data in. So from booking to having everything in the target system, it's basically just one click and one 4i principle, because everything in between is automated. Wouldn't that help you save a lot of time, money, and nerves, and basically give you the time to focus on what happens most, which is really spending time on your core business and enhancing your sales and stuff? And this is what we do, and this is how we also help BitterLiebe, basically. So who's Pliant? We are a leading digital credit card platform provider. So basically we have digital credit cards. We also have physical credit cards. We're running on the Visa network, so you can imagine us like one of the credit card providers that you know and that you potentially use in the digital world. We transformed everything into the digital world. We have been founded 2020 in Berlin, raised a lot of money in our rounds that we did so far. We're trusted by very big investors like Commerzbank from the start, SBI, PayPal Ventures, to name some. We're available in 30 countries throughout all of the European Economic Area. We have 160 employees, and we have everything from a license side, e-money institute license, for instance, and also from a certificate side that we need to do to power, or that we need to have to power our business, basically. We have everything in-house. We don't need to rely on third parties. And you can see some of the big names that we have put on here who are our big customers, and also some of the partners that we have, because we're also able to provide everything that we do in a white-labeled fashion and in a fully API-based fashion. So basically, a Commerzbank, for instance, is using our technology, using our regulatory infrastructure to also sell our digital cards under their name, under their brand to their customers, which is making us very, very proud, obviously. Very cool proof point for our business. So basically, this is Pliant. Who's BitterLiebe? I guess a lot of you know BitterLiebe. You can see one of their nice products here. They basically have been founded 2018 in Mannheim, central of Germany, and they specialize in those health-focused products that they sell online but also offline with bitter substances. So very healthy stuff, some would say very tasty stuff. And they have seen very rapid growth and are still seeing this very rapid growth. A very cool brand, a very cool product. And why is that case study that I'd like to present to you important? Because basically it's showcasing how you can boost the efficiency of your financial management, how you can scale your e-commerce business, and also how you can get rid of manual processes that today are still prevalent in a lot of business that we see and with a lot of customers that we talk to on a daily basis. What were basically the challenges that BitterLiebe was facing and that they also came to us with? Basically, it was about manual financial processes that they were acting on. And maybe some of you know those things as well. There is products that you can and services that you can only buy with credit cards, but most of the customers, or a lot of the customers that we talk to, have 1 or 2 physical credit cards that are issued for the MDs, issued for sometimes the HR department, and then are sitting with those persons. And as soon as someone needs something to be bought with a credit card, being it ads or licenses or travel, these credit cards are given around in the company, or even worse, the credit card numbers, including expiry date and everything, are mailed around in the company, potentially, exposing the business to a high risk. And also, at the end of the month, nobody has a clue anymore who did which transaction with which cards, where's the receipt for that. So a huge backlog and overhead tasks are created with those very inefficient processes. Obviously, there's no real-time vision of what is happening with credit cards. At the end of the month, there's this big letter of the bank coming in with all of the transactions been done throughout the month in a statement, and then you have to still figure out, okay, what is this about? Who did which transaction? Was it all in company policies or not? Another thing, scaling demands, specifically after events that are important for BitterLiebe, that are important for customers. When there's a lot of product orders coming in and you need to buy a lot of products, you want to buy a lot of ads, etc. You need a scalable solution, and you also need seamless integrations into adjacent systems like ERP systems, like accounting systems and stuff. Because basically typing everything from one system into the other is, again, a very error-prone process that you try to and want to get rid of, right? And then in the end, budget control is a very important topic as well. So having transparency over budgets, assigning budgets to teams, and then also controlling that these budgets are still held and these budgets are not overspent, but also enabling the right people to be spending for what you want to enable them to spend. Very important topics as well. So these were some of the challenges that BitterLiebe was facing when we came into business with them. Basically, what are the 3 pillars that we are bringing to our customers to enable them to have better processes and a better overall experience when it comes to credit cards? We digitalized everything around the management of cards, around the administration of cards, from issuing cards to really controlling on a detailed level what can be done with a card, what cannot be done with a card, whitelisting of merchants, blacklisting of merchants, etc. This is what we call card controls. To digital receipt management, attaching a receipt to a transaction and also doing all of the pre-accounting, cost center, cost unit, VAT rate, etc. Attaching that already to the transaction, getting rid of paper-based processes, getting rid of those shoe boxes with paper-based receipts being handed to the accounting department at the end of the month. This is what we do in the second pillar. And the third pillar, integrations, a very important one as well. So integrating our system into third-party systems, being it liquidity management systems, being it ERP systems, being it accounting systems, like a DataF in Germany, like a Microsoft Dynamics, an SAP, an Oracle NetSuite, all of those important systems that we're integrating with. So basically just automating all of those accounting processes, a very important part of the overall equation of success as well. So basically you become like your own bank when it comes to credit cards. You can do everything on your own. And how does that look in our platform? So basically we onboard you onto our platform, and then you can have everything in our dashboard view on one glance. We're issuing real credit cards with real credit. So obviously also giving you the opportunity to boost your working capital management by also receiving credit from our end. So you see how much do I still have available, how many members do I have on the platform, how many cards do I have issued, what are the last transactions, everything in real time. So you have basically everything at one glance. And then what you want to do normally for the first is you want to invite new members onto the platform because you want to have, and this is the magic of virtual cards, you want to have one virtual card sitting with one member, and then you have an initial and instant visibility on what is done with that one card. And that one card is only used for a LinkedIn subscription, for a Google Ads campaign, or for procurement that you have with one supplier. So you want to onboard a new member. This is done by a few clicks. The new member does not have to go through a painful process with identifying themselves with banks, etc. Instantly, they can be registered on the platform, and then you can start issuing cards. And this is what I mean by you become like your own bank when it comes to cards. So basically, you select the card type that you want to issue, being it a virtual card or being it a physical card that I showed you. And we see more and more virtual cards because basically that's the magic, one card per use case. You select how long should the card be valid. You select on which currency the card should run. We can equip you with 13 different currencies. That's also pretty unique in the business. You select how often should the limit be renewed. What is the limit of the card? What is the transaction limit for a single transaction? So we basically also have already some security features here. There can be no overspend basically because you can control what can be done with the card, what cannot be done with the card. And you can also select categories in which the card can be used. So say, this is the Google Ads card. It can only be used with Google. If someone then tries to buy Amazon with it or wants to buy travel with it, it will be blocked. If this is a card that should only be used with Lufthansa, that's only Lufthansa then basically. So you can control on a very detailed level what can be done, what cannot be done. Or you can say this is marketing, this is the restaurant card. So it will only be able to be used in restaurants. Very detailed level. You can also select dates, times, zip codes. So basically giving you the full control, and you have a high confidence when then handing out cards to your employees basically, because you know that they can only be used for the purposes you want them to be used for. You can give the card a name, a color, assign a cost center, a cost unit, again boosting efficiency. And then you click on issue, card is issued and can instantly be used. Obviously can also be used with Google Pay and Apple Pay. Everything's available in our mobile app as well. Also enable you to then pay with the phone at a physical point of sale, even though it's still a digital card. Second pillar, everything around the receipt management. You have basically 3 ways on how to attach a receipt to a transaction. You can either upload from your hard drive, you can do a picture with the mobile app, or you can use our receipt inbox. So basically just forward an email with a receipt, with an invoice to a specifically for you assigned email address. It will automatically be matched. And this is then kind of the highest level of automatization that you can get. Because the pre-accounting is done by using the right card. The receipt is automatically matched. Everything's done basically. And if you use what we call our merchant feature, then you could also say, if that specific merchant is buying with my card, then I also use this supplier account, this GL account, this VAT rate. So all of the information is really there. And this is how clients tell us, well, we save 40 hours a month with you on bookkeeping hours that formerly have been done by accountants, high-paid accountants of ours. And they can now focus on way more important things than just assigning a cost center and a cost unit to a transaction. You see some of the connections to third-party systems that we do have here: circular, expense management, data, AGCAP, but we have multiple integrations, and this is also what we're enhancing on a daily basis. How did we now specifically with these things that I showed you help BitterLiebe? Basically, they seamlessly transitioned from physical cards to virtual cards and had now virtual cards, enabling them to have a very high control over their spend with virtual cards, because now using one card per use case, instantly able to be issuing those virtual cards, is giving them a very high level of transparency, a high level of flexibility, and also enabling them to automatize their expense tracking and have real-time visibility. Attached to that, there's a very high benefit of automatization, obviously, because basically you don't need to transfer data manually from one system into the other. You can just do that by pushing a button. Error-prone processes cut out, basically out of the workflows. And you have real-time reporting with a very high data quality, enabling then very high quality of decision-making as well. Additionally, we also did here the integration into Gottschick, a liquidity management tool. So everything that has been done with credit cards is ultimately processed into Gottschick, which is then the liquidity management tool, enabling a way better forecasting of when there will potentially be gaps, when potentially we will need, or BitterLiebe's in that sense, will need another injection of capital to accounts, etc. So really streamline the liquidity planning and also have everything available in one centralized dashboard here. And because we can issue real credit cards with credit sitting beneath, we're really able to help you also optimize your working capital management. We do have different currencies, we do have different payment terms, so we really are flexible to cater your specific needs here to optimize your cash flow and also offer you financial rebates when it comes to interesting transaction volumes. What are the key takeaways? Basically, key takeaways you can get rid of, and this is what BitterLiebe's did here, you can get rid of manual tasks in your payment processes when it comes to using digital credit cards. You have an instant expense tracking, you have real-time visibility into everything that is done with credit cards, and you have a very high level of transparency and a very high level of confidence when handing out credit cards to your employees. And by also having one card used for one use case, you also are getting rid of a lot of high risks when it comes to fraud, when it comes to that one card is not able to be used anymore because it's compromised, because it ran out of limit, and then the whole business is not functioning anymore because everything runs on one card. That's the past. The future is you have one card per use case that you can use. And those cards can be instantly created by just clicking on a few buttons. I showed it to you in the screenshots that I had, and obviously I'm very happy with my team to also showcase that to you when we're doing a personal demo with you. And by this instant card creation, you can also fuel your growth when it comes to times of peak sales after trade fairs, etc., because you can instantly issue that cards with that specific limits and then boost your sales, boost your ad campaigns, and you don't need to wait any longer for long-term processes to max your limits. And with the card controls that I showed you, categories, single merchant, states, times, zip code, location-based details on which you can control where the cards can be used, where they cannot be used, it really enables you to, with a high confidence, give out cards to your members of your company. And by all of that, we not only help BitterLiebe's to save a lot of time, money, and nerves also, but we obviously also want to help you save a lot of time, money, and nerves. And we brought a little something here. If you book a demo by using that link here, we are very happy to not only showcase everything that we do to you on a personal basis, but you'll also save 50% on SaaS fees for the first 3 months that you are using our beautiful solution with. So very happy to get in contact with you, very happy to showcase everything that I showed now on slides in real life to you, and very happy to help you save a lot of time, money, and nerves with our solution. Thanks a lot.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you very much for your presentation.
My pleasure.
I got one question. There are some suppliers who don't offer sending out emails of receipts, such as Google and stuff like that. So where you have to log into a website and then download the receipt and then upload it again. Is there integration with Pliant to support that?
Yeah, there are multiple ways with which you will be able to do that. So one of the ways is that you use invoice fetchers, like for instance, Get My Invoice, that are fetching those things, and then basically you can still use the forwarding to that email invoice, and then you have the automated matching. So we do have several ways of also enabling that, yeah.
Or maybe there are both technologies to catch up with the talk before.
I mean, Zapier might be another tool, but yeah. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Martin.
Hey.
Thank you for your presentation as
Thanks.
well. Is Pliant capable of reading the invoice and make structured data from it? I mean, if I take a photo of the receipt, I still need someone who will put the data to the accounting system. Is Pliant able to do that?
I mean, we're using, let's say, two things to do that. So first, you have the transaction, and there's a lot of data already delivered with the transaction. So saying merchant, you can, from the merchant, also say this is that category. And then also, obviously, if you do the photo from the transaction, we're using an OCR, and that is, depending on how well the picture is readable, we're also extracting data from that, like a VAT rate, for instance. So as many data points as we can, we extract and then also put to the transaction. The other side of it is that if you're using a card that comes with, whenever that card is used, use that cost center, that cost unit, that project numbers, because you can also add custom fields. That is then another level of data that you can automatically have with that transaction. So also there are multiple ways of kind of not needing to type in manually anything anymore. Yeah, sure.
Covered? Yeah.